Welcome to Week and Geek, your new comics preview for June 29th. I'm Mike Ortiz.
I'm the Chris Brown.
So what do you got?
Well, this week I want to actually start with, I was a little fired up, a little venomous last week.
You were fired up.
I was a little frustrated with Ape
fire.
Entertainment. There was a lot of fire.
Yeah.
And one of my customers saw the video and actually sent it to Brent Irwin from Ape Entertainment. He was noticed, not happy because one of his retailers wasn't happy. He called me on the phone. We had a great conversation, a really good guy who does very much care. I was of the opinion that they didn't really much care how they were working their product. I was seeing a lot of strange things. We had a great conversation. He solved every one of my problems that I had. Everyone. He went above and beyond to solve my problems for me. He explained a few other things which probably weren't any of my business, but he was very honest about it anyway. So I would like to retract my statements about Ape Entertainment. I very much want to get back behind them. We still don't have our full copies of Scratch 9 yet, but they are on the way.
So nice work, Ape.
Yeah, thank you, Ape. Thank you,
care,
Brent. We appreciate it.
And they take care of their people. We should take care of them.
Absolutely, they do care about the retailers.
Yes.
So all right, well, I'll start with my stack here. I've got I'm gonna lead with Amazing Spider-Man. We're working our way to the road to Spider Island. And I am a little bit behind on Amazing Spider-Man. At this point, it's just Road to 666 for me. Because Comics and More's got a little trick up their sleeves for 666. Then I've got American Vampire, which, we've been talking up the whole way. I think it's been fantastic. I really, really like this book a lot. I can't say enough good things about Raphael Albuquerque. American Vampire.
Good stuff.
Then we'll get into this Fear Itself. We're getting into Board Itself, the Black Widow. Again, I'm not blown away by any of the Fear Itself stuff, but I do like the Black Widow. And this first issue is written by, Colin Bunn?
Colin Bunn?
Isn't he doing the Sixth Gun?
Yeah.
He gets a lot of great praise on that thing. And I remember Ryan Brown of God Hates Astronauts looked right at me and was like, dude, why aren't you reading the Sixth Gun? Like, we'd had this long conversation about indie comics, and he goes, everything we've just talked about, just go sit down and read the Sixth Gun. So I'm looking forward to the Black Widow. I've always liked this character. This writer gets nothing but praise. So I'm looking forward to that. Then we're gonna lump them together here. We're gonna lump these three together. Flashpoint. I am still all over Flashpoint. I think it's been really, really fun. I liked pretty much all the books last week. I thought The Outsider was really good. Really, really fun stuff. This week we've got Green Arrow Industries. So that should be kind of neat. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with Oliver Queen within this. He's always been kind of the the liberal nut job, and here he is, gun toting, and okay, well that's
interesting reinvention for that character.
Yeah, the Canterbury Cricket. I don't know anything about the Canterbury Cricket.
I don't think anybody does.
I have no idea what to expect from this, so that should be interesting. It's got a giant praying mantis on the front there. Then we've got Project Superman. Let's see what because they were saying there was really no Superman in Flashpoint, but I guess this is it. Project Superman. So, oh really? It's a military. What is this? Captain America? What do they give him the Superman serum?
Yeah.
Send him on his way.
Actually, I think that is Captain America, but Superman.
Okay, I'm gonna read it because Flashpoint has been awesome. And at this point, while I'm talking about Flashpoint, I also want to throw a little shout out to one of our viewers. We've got a guy by the name of Oscar who goes by Banana Hammock 42 on YouTube who's been watching us. Real nice kid. He's been watching the show, enjoying it. Oscar, shout out to you. I promised you a shout out. He's a Marvel guy, and he's been reading all the Flashpoint stuff because of our recommendation. He's actually been liking that stuff. Then I've got Venom here. Wow, I'm ripping through this stack. I've got Venom here. I've really been liking this book. I think what they're doing with Flash Thompson is interesting. They've sort of reinvented the character. They've done so, as I've said before, they've done so many bad things to that character over time.
Right.
Now this is an interesting predicament to put him in. So I like how the Venom suit has become the character rather than just all of the Eddie Brock mythos and all that.
And then just tying it even closer to Spider-Man by using Flash Thompson.
Yeah.
It's really kind of this weird combination of a classic Spider-Man element in Flash Thompson and a 90s Spider-Man element in Venom
Sure.
combined to make a brand new modern thing.
And totally fits with the theme of Spider-Man that coincidentally he knows every goddamn one of his villains. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, he's not a villain this time around, but
Not yet.
it's still got to be someone we know, right?
Just wait.
It's getting a little dark.
Aunt May turns on him. It's coming.
Next year, I've got The Walking Dead. What else can I say about The Walking Dead? This book is solid. It's been solid the whole way through. I don't want to ruin anything for anybody, but there was that big thing that happens in the Volume 14 trade, which just came out a couple weeks ago, and Rick is still dealing with that. It looks like they're trying to buckle down and stay in this community. For the first time, they're not running. They want to find a place to stay. Okay, interesting turn for our band of merry heroes here.
And next issue, Professor Zoom goes back in time and makes the zombie apocalypse never happen. And then they're restarting with number 1.
Rick keeps his hand. Now, all right, then I've got, all right, you saw this coming. We had FF number 5. It's the most solid book on the stand.
Looks like a returning guy from the front cover there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this should be fun. I mean, they have been building the whole step of the way. They're kind of getting the family back. They broke them all apart, split them apart, gave them different things to do. Now you're seeing how they're all coming together.
Right.
I loved in that last issue where Spider-Man's talking to Sue and says, well, have you seen all the baddies that are coming in here? She goes, well, the one thing that all of them have in common is I've kicked all of their butts badly. That's fun stuff. Hickman is just still nailing it.
Yeah.
So that's the bulk of my quick stack there. What are you looking at this week?
Well, I'm going to start off with Ultimate X, which is something that I talked about a couple weeks ago that didn't come out. So you can go back and watch that episode.
That was the week we didn't actually have the books.
That was the
That's going to happen to us next week, or in 2 weeks, too.
Okay, so
the 4th of July, we have another situation, but...
We'll be more careful, but yeah, this is a great book. As I said before, great artwork by Art Adams. Jeff Loeb's actually doing a great job on this, too. Who knows if this will ever end, because God knows the Ultimate Universe has moved on from this reboot into a new reboot coming soon. But if you like some Art Adams and you don't really care about the fact that this pretty much is going to be irrelevant when everything reboots, give it a shot, because it's beautiful artwork.
Good stories are good stories beyond a reboot or a
Right.
relaunch or whatever. Even with everyone complaining about this DC thing, a good story is a good story. It does not ruin the stories you had before.
No. So check it out. Don't worry about whether or not it means anything or it's relevant, because, honestly, none of this stuff really means anything.
It's like the old DC joke about imaginary stories.
Aren't they all? Well, except for this one, this is all true. I'm just kidding. This is the Uncanny X-Men.
Also getting a relaunch.
Yes, this is
reboot.
also getting canceled and restarted. So this is also irrelevant, but I'm getting it anyway. Kieran Gillen's doing a great job on this book. He's brought some life back into it that it hasn't had in a while. It looks like a new artist this time out. Pretty good stuff overall. So, if you're looking for a place to get back on the X-Men, especially if you're someone who's been reading it for a while and maybe lapsed recently with some of the chaos going on, this is a pretty good place to pick it up. It's all going to lead into the X-Men Schism stuff and get restarted. But for now, it's actually been some good stuff. Next up is Batman Incorporated number 7.
And I do believe this is the cover that we had a couple of months ago.
Yes. They finally brought out the correct cover.
And that was the one that we had floating. We're like, we couldn't even find the right cover. And
Yeah.
it was that thing, I think.
It was this. We were talking
So
about
you didn't
the
have to
cover.
build another graphic.
Yeah, I did, because the number changed.
Oh, all right.
This is, I believe this is the end of Grant Morrison's first arc. This is not getting rebooted right away. It'll pick up later in 2012. Well, actually, no, I guess there's another issue of this coming next month.
Okay, but we are getting that Batwing story.
Right. Yeah, all the stuff is still going to be in continuity. Batman
Yep.
Incorporated still exists in the new DC universe. This is not irrelevant. And Grant Morrison just taking a break to take on Superman, and he's going to get back to the story that he started here. But again, this is great stuff. Artwork by Chris Burnham. Burnham's doing a great job on this book. I like Janet Paquette a lot, and I think he'll do a great job on Swamp Thing. But Burnham's stuff is weird enough to fit Grant Morrison just a little bit better. Next up.
I don't like that it sounds like you just compared the two.
All right.
Anyway, carrying on.
Anyway, next up is Detective Comics. This is Scott Snyder week.
Yeah.
Because we've already covered American Vampire. As I've said before, this is the best Batman book now being published. And I'm glad that he's going to be moving over to Detective Comics. Greg Capullo, I think, will do a great job.
He's doing Batman, right?
Yes, he's doing Batman. They're switching.
Yeah,
Tony
okay.
Daniel's taking over Detective. I will miss Jock on this book. I think Jock is a better fit for the dark, gloomy, moody Batman. But I think the new one's going to be.
Is he moving over with Batman?
No, he's actually moving on to a creator-owned book. He's not doing any books at DC that we know of. We don't know where the creator-owned project's at. But anyway, he's going to be leaving the book. Greg Capullo is going to be coming on. He's going to superhero it up a little bit. But this has been a great book. This is still Dick Grayson, at least for one more issue until Bruce comes back. Or he's back until Bruce takes over all the Batman books again and Dick goes back to being Nightwing. But anyway, it's a great book. If you're not picking it up, you should. Next up, Green Lantern Emerald Warriors number 11. I believe this is close to, if not the end.
I think that's the end.
The end of the War of the Green Lanterns.
Yeah, which I think has been really good.
It's been pretty solid. Not as strong as some of the other events, but some stuff's gone down. Again, Green Lantern's one of the books, like Batman, that's not going to go through a lot of changes. So this Emerald Warriors book is just gonna go away, but it's just gonna mutate back into Green Lantern Corps, and then Green Lantern Corps becomes the New Guardians, I think.
Well, you have Green Lantern Corps, New Guardians, and Red Lantern.
Yes. So basically, it's the same 3 books now, except the titles are changing. And then they're adding another one. Also up, Flashpoint Hal Jordan. I've not been getting a lot of the Flashpoint stuff, but I did get.
I don't
this
get
a
to
shot.
cover the Green Lantern related stuff.
No, I got Abin Sur. I got this one because I'm lumping them in with my Green Lantern stuff. Again, this should be pretty good. We haven't seen what happens to Hal Jordan in this universe. In Flashpoint universe, Abin Sur is still the Green Lantern. So,
but it looked like he was coming to Earth.
He was coming to Earth.
So I'm sure they're going to end up mashing together there.
Yeah, we'll figure it out somehow. But in any event, if you're picking up the Flashpoint stuff, you like Green Lantern, give this a shot. Next up is the next of the movie prequels. This is the Hal Jordan Green Lantern movie prequel.
Which came out after the movie.
Which came out after the movie. This one's actually written by Jeff Johns, who writes the regular book, and Greg Berlanti, who co-wrote the movie, with art by Jerry Ordway. So it's got a classic look to it. And I just want to say now, I don't know if you've seen.
I have seen the movie.
I liked it. It's not a great movie.
I was entertained by it.
I liked
it too.
Nearly as bad as I think people are making it out to be.
It does
online.
need to be longer.
But seriously, if you just want to have a good time, I thought it was a pretty faithful translation. It's not the best. It's kind of squarely in the middle of the comic book movies.
They try to do too much in an hour and 45 minutes.
I'm not saying it doesn't have
it's still
problems,
good.
but it's enjoyable. But it's bombing so badly. If you haven't seen it and you want to, go see it this week, because in 2 weeks that movie's going to be gone, which is too bad. I think it's better than that. It may not be as good as Thor or X-Men First Class, but it's certainly not like Daredevil or Elektra or any of those.
Or Ghost Rider. It's better than all of those.
I think it's even better than the Fantastic Four movies. I'd put it up there. Again, it's kind of solidly in the middle.
I would say it's solid. There are parts of it that are probably better than the second Fantastic Four movie, but there are probably parts of FF that are.
I thought the effects were good. I know a lot of people complained about the computer effects. When someone says to me that the kind of bird fish-headed alien doesn't look realistic, I have to wonder how many bird fish-headed aliens you actually have compared it to. But in any event, Green Lantern, check it out. If you're a comic book fan,
go see it.
Go see it. Don't wait for the dollar show, because it probably is only going to be there for about 5
It needs your
minutes.
money. And as a comic nerd, if you want more of this stuff, comic movies in general,
if you want to see The Flash, go see Green
Lantern. Pay your money.
So check it out. You're not going to love it, but I don't think you're going to hate it either.
And if you do, you just might not like stuff.
Yeah. It might just be you. You may just be unhappy with your life. Maybe you need to look at that. Next up is Butcher Baker. This is a crazy book. I don't really know if I get it, but I dig it.
The art's fun. It's weird.
It's wild artwork. Joe Casey writes kind of a crazy story. There's a lot of sexing going on. This is a superhero that likes to get it on, and he does a pretty good job of it too. Apparently, it's big, fun, crazy stuff. There's some good back matter. If you're a fan of Joe Casey and just sort of strange superhero stuff, give it a shot. Next up is Drums. To be honest, I haven't read the first issue yet. I picked it up.
I haven't read it yet either, but the art looked great. I have flipped through it, and it looks good to me.
It looked good enough to give the second issue a shot. Hopefully I can get to both of them before the third one. Great cover, kind of a neat idea. It's one of these image books that have been popping up. That's, it's a brand new story. It doesn't tie into anything. You've got pretty much just a set, finite miniseries. It's not a huge investment. You don't have to worry about a story that's going to pay off in 5 years. You're going to hopefully get some sort of payoff in 4 issues. And that's pretty much what I'm looking for. I'm really starting to dig these things that are, as much as I love and still do prefer the big ongoing universes, I think there's a lot of room in comics for just telling a good, simple, single story.
I agree.
And this looks like that's the kind of book that this is. So, what's your top?
Well, my top pick is one of those image books that are kind of coming up. Again, a mini-series, 4 issues. A book called Witch Doctor. There was a zero preview thing in the last issue of Walking Dead.
Yeah, I remember.
That was in the back of the Walking Dead, and that was kind of interesting. And it's got this, honestly, I'll tell you straight up why it's intriguing to me. It feels like Bernie Wrightson to me.
It does. When I first saw it, I thought, Wrightson drew this? Why didn't I hear about this?
Right, and that's the appeal to me, like this weird monster stuff, and it's got that. If this was in black and white, you would think this was in an old creepy issue.
Yeah.
And it just looked, but it's not in black and white. It's in vibrant, awesome color. I mean, I think it looks great.
Weird Lovecraftian creatures.
Yeah. Oh, and it looks like there's a crazed monkey. And I cannot get enough of crazed monkeys.
Unless it's in Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, really? Why'd you have to do that?
You brought up the crazed monkeys.
They could stand alone. So that's what I've got. I'm kind of excited about my stack this week. What do you got there?
My top is Rocketeer Adventures number 2. Number 1 came out the week that I was not here, so I didn't get a chance to sing its praises. I love the Rocketeer. I've loved the Rocketeer ever since it came out back in the early 80s at I think it was Pacific Comics. Unfortunately, we don't have Dave Stevens with us anymore, but it's nice that a new generation is being able to encounter this stuff. And this is just a ridiculous all-star book. I mean, the first it's an anthology series.
I like that. Rather than it being an ongoing, it almost works better for a character like the Rocketeer. It's literally Rocketeer Adventures.
Right. It's like an old-fashioned comic book.
Yeah.
If you go back and read Action Comics number 1, there's a bunch of stories in it. So this is a bunch of quick, short stories with some just absolutely stellar talent. The first story here is Mark Waid and Chris Weston. Chris Weston is doing a remarkable job kind of doing the Dave Stevens style. Darwin Cook has got a story in here, and nobody draws the past like Darwin Cook. I mean, he can really do a convincing job. Pin up by Jeff Darrow with just crazy amounts of action. Another story by Lowell Francis, who I'm not familiar with, but Gene Ha, who is a fantastic artist.
And a nice dude.
Yeah, Gene's a great guy.
Really nice dude.
So yeah, I mean, just the talent on this book alone, coupled with the legacy of a great character, that to me is just something that just really fits in my wheelhouse. I mean, it's classic comics done right with some great talent. Fantastic. I believe this is an Alex Ross cover, in an oil painting style, unlike his normal watercolor gouache style. But Rocketeer Adventures. If you're a fan of this type of stuff, pick it up.
Word. And before we get out of here, there's one other thing that I don't read, so I didn't put it in my stack this week, but I would like to give a mention because it comes out so infrequently, and we love those creator-owned books. The Goon number 34 is out this week. So those of you that have been waiting, it's been a while since we've seen a Goon. So there is a Goon this week. I didn't have it in my stack because I've never really read the Goon, but Eric Powell seems like a great guy. He's very much on the forefront of the creator-owned movement. And so with that, that's your Week in Geek.
Everybody